Now then, English football would appear to be booming. The fans are flocking to the grounds in droves. The best players make tens of thousands of pounds a week plying the trade. The world and his wife can't wait to jump on the football bandwagon. But if you listen carefully enough, you will hear the odd voice of caution advocating the need to look beyond the dosh to the wider implications for a national sport, and none more so than the Chief Executive of the Professional Footballers Association, Gordon Taylor. Gordon, is it fair to say that you have been the voice stood up against the masses saying, whoa, hang on, let's just take a little bit of time out to look at this properly?
Yes, I don't want to be a prophet of doom, particularly when the game has never had such a good time, when we had a decade in the 80s when it was horrific with the hooligan problem of Heysel, the tragedies at Bradford and the tragedies at Hillsborough, and the game has come round from that. It is booming, and it's front page, middle page, back page news. But experience tells me when we had a similar boom in the late 70s, and Trevor Francis was the first £1 million player when he went from Birmingham to Forest, a lot of clubs, and one quite nearby at Manchester City, started to pay out a lot more money than they got on transfer fees and other matters. And suddenly we were having a situation where we've got big clubs like Middlesbrough, Wolves, Derby, Charlton, Bristol City, who were facing the receiver and needed to be restructured. And I'm just concerned that the game's never had as much income as it's had now, and yet there are many clubs still gambling with more money than what they've got, almost spending the new television money before they've got it, and the Premier League gets £200 million a year from TV alone. And you think, well, you know, what goes up often comes down. There's no stock market that goes up forever. You know, we have Wall Street crashes. And I think it's an appropriate time to be saying, look, so many clubs are looking abroad as a first option. We, as a country of ours, with our structure, our clubs, spice and variety we've got, the aggregate attendances we have, we should be putting a lot more money into facilities at youth level and making sure the game stays as the major spectator sport and participant sport. We've no divine right to be in that position, and unless we start planning for the future, if the lower division clubs, because of this gap in income, go out of existence, they've been regular recruiting grounds in the past for the top division clubs. You can think of players like your Keegans from Scunthorpe and Rush from Chester, Southall from Bury, Platt from Crewe. If those clubs aren't able to make ends meet, clubs are looking abroad as a first option. Once that source dries up, then all the sort of lubricated channels that are coming at the moment via agents and so many foreign players, then of course I think those blooming pipelines will be, you know, filled up, congested, prices will go up, and clubs will find themselves with a big problem.
Now, Gordon, you mentioned the word profit there, and something you said a couple of years ago has turned out to be prophetic, in as much as you said that the trickle of foreign imports would become a torrent. And whereas a couple of years ago we were all saying, oh, flipping heck, Hullett's coming to England, Ravanelli's coming to England, now it's who's coming to England?
It's true. I mean, we've been accused of being xenophobic. We've never wanted to avoid top quality players coming here to add to our game. Nobody can deny what Cantona did, you know, for Manchester United. On the other hand, you know, we've got so many players, and to be fair, no disrespect, with unpronounceable names, that you need to be I need to become an expert in Esperanto really to keep, you know, in touch with everybody. We're now perhaps the only league in the world with more non-nationals in the Premier League than any other country. In fact, the non-nationals, non-English players, because we've always catered for the Scots, the Welsh, the Irish, North and South, that the English will be in a minority. And that's well and good when we talk about our domestic game and it's nice and cosmopolitan. On the other hand, when it comes to World Cups, it's only a short time ago the World Cup in America didn't have one country from the United Kingdom. And I think we need to be very careful that, you know, we can convince ourselves we're the best league in the world when it's all right in our own back lawn, but when we're on centre stage of international football, World Cups, the World Cup in 1990 showed what a lift it could do when we got to the semi-finals. Euro 96 showed what a boost it was for the country. We did well in France. But what I'm saying is, if we don't give a chance to our own players in the way that United have had a good balance with the likes of Beckham and the Neville brothers and Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes, and Liverpool with the Fowlers and McManamans, if we don't give these lads a chance, then they're never going to be able to come through and play a part.